You have finally carved out time from an extremely busy schedule to do the thing for your game that you most need to do: practice. Practice? We talking about practice? We're talking about practice. So how can you make the most effective use of the time you have? That's what we're going to explore in the moments ahead. Hello friends, Bill Hobson here. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel, hint, hint, because today we are tackling something that is important for every single golfer everywhere: making better use of your practice time. We spend hours and hours playing the game. We find that we have a number of swing flaws that are exploding our scorecards, but rarely do we carve out the time to come to the range and effectively, strategically address those issues and hopefully get them fixed. So today, I'm bringing you 5 driving range tips to make better use of the practice time you've carved out. So here we go. Tip number 1, build up and then cool back down at the end of your session. Don't just come out of the gate swinging driver. Give your body a chance to warm up and get into a golf mode as opposed to a frustrated flailing mode. Now, when I talk about building up slowly and then cooling down, I'm saying get a wedge in your hand, and for your first 3 or 4 balls, just try to get some motion going. It doesn't matter how you hit it. It doesn't matter where it goes. I learned this from a guy by the name of Woods, Tiger, a few years ago at a clinic I attended. He said his first 3 balls of the day, he literally just wants to feel the club hit the ball, and the rest of it he doesn't care about until he gets to ball number 4. It's part of slowly building up, and then you can kind of ramp things up a little bit. So for your first 3 balls, and then later on at the end of your session, for your last 3 balls, cool back down again. In between, you can build up, you can get going, you can get your speed up where you want it to go. But as you're getting loose, especially as you get a little bit older like me, my friend, you can't come out of the car and start trying to swing for the fences, or in my case, you'd have to call 911. Tip number 2, don't you dare practice without something to guide your alignment. One of the most prevalent errors every golfer makes is that they are literally lined up incorrectly towards their target, and then during the round, you're flummoxed, you're confused, you're bewildered as to why you keep missing to the right or way to the left. It could very well be that you're literally lined up wrong all the time. A simple alignment guide on the range can help with that. It doesn't matter if you lay down a club or if you get an alignment aid like this. I think maybe this one was taken from my neighbor's driveway because they were trying to keep the snow plows from taking out their mailbox. Whatever the case may be, since we know that every shot we hit during a practice session is supposed to have intent, it's supposed to have a target, it's not just for the mere sake of being here and hitting golf balls, we're going to set down an actual alignment aid towards our target. My target on this range for this moment is the 150 marker out there. Whether or not I hit the ball to that distance is not really the relevant point. What I want to make sure I'm doing is hitting the ball on that line. And my best chance at doing that, and also training my eye for what proper alignment looks like, is if I put down an aid that I can use during practice time. Once you get used to it, you're going to find a couple of things. I think you're going to find out that your mind and your eye has been playing tricks on you. And what you used to think was a squared up alignment actually hasn't been. So right now, this is lined up at the 150. And I would swear right now that I am set up about 20 yards right of that, because I used to set up so incredibly open to everything. So here we are on target, on line. And as one would expect, we actually end up hitting a shot on the right trajectory towards a target. Now, the reason that I say don't worry too much about the distances is because range balls in general have such a variance in how responsive they are. That's why they're range balls. They get hit 48 million times. Now I pulled that one way left. So I've got some things to address, because not only is the alignment device for my feet, for my hips, for my shoulders, but I need to swing along that line as well. And that one I just flipped right over, which has been kind of my dilemma, my miss so far this season. That one's much better. So the use of the alignment aid is going to be your friend, and it's really going to help you get things more on target. Tip number 3 for more effective practice sessions: work through the bag. Start small, work your way up to the big dog, but don't start with the big dog and then kind of flail your way around haphazardly through the bag. Give yourself a chance to build up both flexibility-wise and speed-wise so that you can get to the driver, and then on the other side of that, work your way back down. Play a few holes on the range in your mind like you would play them on the course. After you get warmed up, go ahead and tee off, but then hit a couple of irons, hit a couple of wedges, and get yourself into a mode that isn't just mindlessly beating ball after ball after ball. When we talk about the concept of working through the bag, I'm not talking about hitting all 14 clubs, or all 13, since theoretically one of yours is a putter. I'm talking about a good representation, though, of each set of clubs. So for instance, if you have 3 or 4 wedges on the range, you may not want to practice all 4 of them, but pick one that's been giving you some difficulty and hit 5 shots with it. Then go to your 6, 7, 8 iron. And if one of them has been more troubling than the others, hit 5 or 6 shots. Actually, I should rephrase that. Hit shots until you hit 3 really good ones and then move on through the bag, working your way up eventually to the driver, and then working your way back down. You see, if we come to the range and we go buy a large or a medium bucket, and the only thing we do is hit balls until that bucket's gone, we may very well forget to address the clubs that have been giving us the most trouble. So make sure you work your way through your entire bag, hitting all of the clubs that have presented a special challenge to you. Tip number 4, one good shot on the range does not mean you have fixed your problem. My theory is one good one is a fluke, 3 in a row shows signs of progress. Don't allow yourself to stop hitting that 7 iron that's been troubling you, or that hybrid that's been giving you fits, until you have delivered at least 3 shots in a row exactly like you wanted them to be. When you can do that, you'll have the beginning of a pattern, and a pattern that you can repeat during your next round. 3 in a row is a pattern, 1 is a fluke. Here's one of the tendencies I fight on the range. I'll get out a 5 iron because I struggle with my longer irons. I'll get out a 5 iron and I'll hit one really good shot with it. Then I'll think, all right, I'm going to call it a day. That ought to wrap things up for the old 5 iron. Well, I really do believe that one good shot is a fluke. 3 of them in a row starting to show signs of progress. So I've got the 5 iron, and as much as I would like to think that I could just hit one good one and call it a day, I'm going to try to hit 3 good ones for you and see if it doesn't take me the rest of the day until sunset. I've kept the alignment aid the same, so we're looking to go right over the 150 marker. And that's not a good shot. That's flared out to the right. 5 iron number 2. That was much better. Okay, so we'll count that as one good one. Now, can we do it 2 more times in a row is the big question. I kind of hope so. I won't make you sit here the whole time while I try to perfect my 5 iron. Okay, there's 2 good ones. Let's see if we can knock off one more. And that one was not so good as I pulled it a million miles to the left. I would not normally in my practice session then stop hitting 5 irons until I can get 3 good ones in a row. It's the only way we're going to improve. And now finally, tip number 5 for making your practice sessions more efficient, more useful, more helpful: seek professional help immediately. In my case, that professional help is standing here in the form of Nick Sears. We call him the Rocket at the Fortress Golf Course in Frankenmuth, Michigan. You've seen my swing from time to time. Flawless, pretty much?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's
flawless.
what I thought. Years ago, I had a buddy who's not a very good golfer tell me that he doesn't need instruction because he knows what he's doing wrong. And at that time, I reminded him that the #1 player in the world has a teacher.
Right.
So probably we all could use the help.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of it's muscle memory. So if you're doing muscle memory with bad things, you're just making yourself worse and worse and worse if it's not towards a goal, right?
So you can ingrain bad habits.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Which is what I think I've been guilty of doing for the last few decades.
Well, like feel and real in golf are two totally different things. What you feel is happening is definitely not happening. And so seeing yourself on video, doing some camera work, everybody's got an iPhone now, you can take video of your swing and look at it, and does it look like the guys that you're watching on TV? Probably not, right?
The feel versus real also, I think, comes down to issues of alignment from time to time. One of my 5 tips was use an alignment aid on the range because we have fooled ourselves. I have fooled myself over the years into thinking that I am perfectly square to my target.
Right.
And then I put the alignment aid down and I'm in a different zip code.
Yes, that's a good one. The alignment aids are huge. The one that I like the most is putting a alignment rod not actually at your feet, actually out in front of you down your target line, because then you can kind of see where face control is, right? Start 5 balls to the right of the stick, hit 5 balls to the left of the stick. You start to teach yourself some face control.
See, that's why we're talking about it, folks. Get yourself professional help and make the most of your practice sessions. 5 tips. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Play well. Enjoy the game.